In this video, I'll be showing you how to use SeedSigner with Blue Wallet on mobile. This is part 4 of the SeedSigner series, and if you don't have an assembled SeedSigner already, I suggest you go ahead and watch part 1 first. I also have a video on how to use your SeedSigner with Sparrow Wallet on desktop, so if you prefer to use desktop, go ahead and watch that video. All the SeedSigner guides can be found in the description below. Alright, let's boot this thing up and get started. Here I have my SeedSigner booted up, and before we get started, let's take a look at the settings menu. So I'm going to push one to the right, one down, and click on settings. Now the first setting is persistent settings, so if we click on that, we have the option to save our settings onto this SD card. Now if you have this enabled, the settings will store on the SD card, but if you have this disabled, your settings will not save. So I like to have this enabled so my settings save, and when I boot up my SeedSigner, my settings are always the same. Cool, so let's exit this screen. Next is the coordinator software. So we want to make sure that Blue Wallet is turned on, which it already is. So I'm going to exit this. Next is the denomination display. I like to just leave this on the default one, which is this threshold at 0.01. So I leave that on the default. Next, we have the advanced settings. So most of these I just leave on default. We just want to make sure that Bitcoin network is on mainnet. So I had mine on testnet. Just make sure yours is on mainnet. Next, make sure that export xpub is enabled. Then after this, make sure that sig types, you have single sig on. And then next, script types, make sure you have native SegWit. So we will be using native SegWit, so make sure that is on. Alright, the rest of these settings, you can just leave them on the default. If you want a BIP39 passphrase, make sure that's enabled. But otherwise, yeah, all of this can stay on default. Cool, so that's the settings menu. Let's exit this now. And what we need to do is create a new seed on our SeedSigner. To create a new seed, I'm going to scroll down to Tools, then click on that. And now we have 3 options for creating a new seed. Firstly, we can use the built-in camera. Secondly, we can use dice rolls. And finally, we can select the words manually, and the SeedSigner will calculate the final word as a checksum. Personally, I like to roll the dice for 2 main reasons. Firstly, I can verify the dice rolls, which I show you how to do in part 2 of the SeedSigner series. So go ahead and watch that if you wish to verify these. And secondly, I know dice rolls are pretty random because I roll them myself and I know the outcome is pretty random. The problem with the camera method is I can't read code, so it's difficult for me to verify what it's actually doing, but that's not to say it isn't a good option. Now, the final option, where you select your own words, I don't trust myself to select truly random words. Just remember that your seed must be random, otherwise it can easily be cracked. Alright, so I'm going to select the dice roll method by clicking on it. And now we must select our mnemonic length. So I'm okay with 12 words, which would be 50 dice rolls. 24 words would be 99 dice rolls, so that's a lot more secure, but 12 words is enough. So I'm going to click on 12 words. Alright, I'm going to quickly roll 50 dice, and I'll be back when that is done. Okay, here are my 50 dice rolls, and now what I need to do is insert these into the device. So my first 3 rolls are 5, 5, 6. So here in the device, I'm going to select number 5, 5, 5, 6. And then I'm going to do this 50 times for each dice roll. Alright, all my 50 dice rolls are in, and it says, caution, you must keep your seed words private and away from all online devices. So when I click I understand, it's going to display my seed words. Now, these seed words give you access to your Bitcoin, so anyone who has these words can steal your coins. It is very important to keep these words somewhere safe and somewhere private, and never to put them online because online tools can be compromised. So I'm going to click I understand, and it's going to display my seed words. What I'm going to do is write down the words on this piece of paper, which you can find on SeedSigner's GitHub. It allows you to write down your words, and then also later you'll see we will write down the QR code version of our seed phrase. I'm going to write down the first 4 words on this paper, then I'm going to click next and do all 12 words. Alright, here are all 12 words that I've written down. I'm going to click next on the device, and now it gives us the option to verify our backup, which I 100% recommend you do. So just click on verify, and then it's going to ask you to verify each word. So it's asking for word 9. If I look at my paper here, word 9 is nasty, so I'm going to click on that. And then word 6 is snow, so I'm going to click on snow. Now I'll do this for all 12 words. I verified all 12 words. Now I can click OK. And here is my seed fingerprint. So what you would want to do is write down this fingerprint with your seed phrase. So I'm going to put my fingerprint over here in this little block here. Alright, I've written my fingerprint down over there. So what actually is this fingerprint? This fingerprint is a unique identifier that will help you kind of keep track of all your wallets and seed phrases. So this fingerprint will also show up in Blue Wallet or whatever wallet you're using, like Sparrow, and it will help you identify this wallet in Sparrow Wallet belongs to this seed. So it's very useful to have this written down. Now, we also have the option to add a BIP39 passphrase, which will act as another word on top of your already 12 words over here. So if you do add a BIP39 passphrase, please understand that it creates a whole new wallet, and without that passphrase, you can't access the wallet anymore. So I recommend you write that down, but maybe keep it somewhere separate from these 12 words. Alright, so I'm not going to add a BIP39 passphrase, so I'm just going to click on done over here. Now our seed is ready to go, but before we start sending and receiving to Blue Wallet, I'd like to export my wallet onto this QR code over here. So to do this, I'm going to go down to Backup Seed, click on that, and then I'm going to click on Export as Seed QR. Now I need to select the seed QR format, either standard or compact. So this seed QR that I have printed has 3 blocks with 7 smaller blocks in each of these 3 blocks. So it's 21 by 21, meaning it would be the compact one. So here we can see compact is 21 by 21. So I'm going to select that option. And now it's just reminding us that this QR code that we're going to fill in over here is another way of displaying your seed phrase. So it's just as important to keep this somewhere private and safe and never put it online, because it's just an equivalent of your phrase and can be used to spend your Bitcoin. So again, keep that somewhere safe and private. I'm going to click I understand over here. Now we can click begin, and it will show each block individually. So this is block A1, and here we can see block A1 has already been filled in. So I'm going to scroll to the right, and it opens block A2. So this is what we need to fill in into block A2, which will be the middle one at the top. So I'm going to quickly fill that in. I've completely filled in block A2, as you can see here. So now I need to go ahead and do the rest. If I scroll to the right, this block is already filled in. So I'm going to scroll down, and it's going to open block B3. So I'm going to fill in B3, and I'll see you when all of this is done. Alright, I have filled in the whole QR code. Now, I did realize halfway through that I was filling it in on the wrong block, but I don't mind. Just keep in mind that it should be the matching block. You may notice that I filled these squares in with little dots rather than trying to fill in the whole block. From my experience, it's far easier to do the little dots, and you have a far higher success rate than trying to fill in the entire block. Cool, so now that this is done on our SeedSigner, we can click to exit, it says. So I'm going to click on this, and now we have the option to confirm our seed QR. Now this is something you absolutely must do, because it's really easy to mess this QR code up. So click on confirm seed QR and just scan your QR code. Cool, so it says success. Your transcribed seed QR successfully scanned and yielded the same seed. So this is a good sign. It means that this QR code yields this seed, which is what we wanted to do. So I'm going to click on OK. Now what we're going to do is export our XPub onto our Blue Wallet. Now XPub stands for Extended Public Key, and it's important to note that we only export the public key onto Blue Wallet. So we don't export the actual seed phrase, which is needed to sign off on transactions, meaning that Blue Wallet can only see our balance and build transactions, but it can't actually sign off on them or spend any coins. So I'm going to click on Export XPub over here, then for single sig. Now I'm going to select native SegWit, not the legacy version, just native SegWit. And then I'm going to select Blue Wallet, of course. Cool, now it's just giving us this caution saying that XPub can be used to view all future transactions. This is because our XPub derives all our addresses, and anyone with all your addresses can view all your transactions. So I'm going to click I understand. Now it's going to give us our XPub details, and I'm just going to click on Export XPub, and now it's going to show us this QR code. So what we would need to do now is open Blue Wallet. So here I have Blue Wallet open on my phone, and I'm going to click Add Now under Add a Wallet. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to give my wallet a name. So I'm going to just be calling it SeedSigner. All right, my wallet has a name. Now I click Import Wallet. Then at the bottom, I click Scan or Import a File. And now all I have to do is scan this QR code that my SeedSigner is presenting. So I'm going to scan it just like that. And there we go. It has imported my wallet, and it gives us this warning. Your wallet has been successfully imported, but this is a watch-only wallet and you cannot spend from it. So that is a good sign. It means that SeedSigner has only exported our XPub and not the seed phrase, which is what we want to do. So I'm going to click OK here, and our wallet is ready to go. There seems to be a bug within Blue Wallet. I gave it a name, but the name has switched to imported watch only. So I'm going to click on it again, then click the three dots at the top right of my screen. And I'm going to just change the name to SeedSigner again. All right, I've changed the name. I'm going to click return over here. And then I also want to make sure that I've got this toggled on, use with hardware wallet. I'm going to put that on and then click save at the top right of my screen. And it says wallet updated. Now we can start receiving funds into this wallet. To do this, all I have to click is receive at the bottom left of my screen. And here is a Bitcoin receiving address. Now I'm quickly going to deposit some funds into this Blue Wallet, and I'll be back when that is all done. Alright, I have sent the Bitcoin, and here we can see Blue Wallet has picked that up, and it is currently a pending transaction. Now I'm just going to wait for a confirmation on this transaction, and I'll be back when that is all done. Alright, it turns out I set the fee quite low, so I had to wait until the next day. And here we are with this Bitcoin transaction being confirmed. And as we can see, we now have a balance in our Blue Wallet. If you want, you can switch this from BTC to SAT, and you can also switch it to your local currency if you wish. I just like to leave this on SAT, so I'm going to leave it on that. Now that we've received Bitcoin into our Blue Wallet, let's take a look at how to build a transaction in Blue, and then how we can sign that transaction with our SeedSigner. The first thing we want to do is click send. And then we need to enter how much Bitcoin we wish to send. So here you could say, for example, 10,000 sats. But in my case, I wish to send the whole balance. So I'm going to click over here on total. And then use full balance. I'm going to say OK. Now I need to insert the address I wish to send the funds to. So I've got the address on my computer. I'm going to quickly click scan and then scan that address. I have successfully scanned the address, and here we can see the address bar has been populated. Now what we can do is set a note for yourself, which I generally like to do. I'm going to say SeedSigner video. Now what we need to do is set a fee. So I'm just going to click on this green button over here that says 9408 sats. I'm going to click on that. And here I can adjust the fee. You can either have it on fast, medium, slow, or a custom fee. For this video, I'll be doing custom, and I'm going to be setting this to 21 sat per byte. I'm going to click OK, and there we go, I've set a fee. Now everything is done here. I'm just going to click next, and here is my partially signed Bitcoin transaction. So this QR code over here basically knows where I wish to send my Bitcoin, but it doesn't have a valid signature. So this is where our SeedSigner comes into play. We are now going to turn our attention to the SeedSigner. So let me bring it right here. Now, for the sake of demonstration purposes and the sake of this video, I'm going to cut the power on my SeedSigner so that it completely wipes the seed. Now I'm going to power it back on and we'll wait for it to boot back up, and it will no longer have that seed phrase loaded onto the device. My SeedSigner has booted up, and if we take a look at the seeds over here, we will see that our seed was wiped and it's giving us the option to load a new seed. For demonstration purposes, we aren't going to load a seed now. We're going to be following a bit of a different flow for the sake of this video. So I'm going to exit this screen and then click on scan. Now what I'm going to do is scan this partially signed Bitcoin transaction. Just like that. And now it is asking me to select a signer. And we have the option to either scan a seed or enter our words. Now, for demonstration purposes again, I'm going to be loading a seed that cannot sign this transaction. So this seed I have on a QR code over here is from my Sparrow Wallet video. So let's see what happens when we scan this QR code. I'm going to click on scan a seed and scan this QR, and I'm going to click finalize seed. Now we'll see it just takes us to this screen. It didn't give us the option to sign that transaction. So let's go back and go back to scan over here. And then we're going to scan the PSBT again on Blue Wallet. Cool, now we will see that the seed we just loaded has a question mark because it can't sign off on this transaction. We need to load in the valid seed. So I'm going to put this aside, and now here we have the valid seed. If I open this up, this QR code has the right to spend these coins. So I'm going to click on scan a seed and scan on this QR. And there we go, it has loaded up the seed. I'm going to click finalize seed. Now it's giving us a bit of information about this transaction. We have one input, two outputs. One is the send to address and the other one is the fee. So I'm going to click review details. And it's giving me this warning, but I understand that this is a full spend. This is on purpose. So I'm going to click continue. Now it's going to show us the PSBT math. So we have a 50k sat input. We're sending 47k sats to the recipient. And we're paying a 2,800 sat fee. And we'll receive 0 sats back in our wallet. So everything checks out here. Everything looks good to me. I'm going to click review recipients. And now SeedSigner will show us the recipient address. Conveniently, SeedSigner highlights the first few characters and the last few characters. So take a look at your receiving address and make sure the highlighted characters match. So I'm looking over at my computer and I can see these both match. What I'm going to do now is click next and then approve this PSBT. And here is our signed transaction. So I'm going to go back to Blue Wallet now. And I'm going to click on scan signed transaction over here. And now all I have to do is scan this QR code that I'm seeing on my SeedSigner. And there we go. It says this is your transaction's hex, signed and ready to be broadcasted. So if you want to, you can verify that everything checks out by clicking here, verify on coinb.in. So if we click on that, it's going to open this website where we can make sure everything checks out once again. Everything looks good here. So I'm going to go back to Blue Wallet. And then I'm going to click on send now. And there we go. We've got a blue tick or check mark. So I'm going to click done. And if I go out of here and refresh, we'll see this wallet now has 0 sats. And here is our outgoing transaction. If you want, you can click on details. And here is all the information. We've got the input address, the output address, and the transaction ID, which will be useful for tracking this on chain. If you want, you can click view in Block Explorer, and it will open mempool.space, where you can keep an eye on your transaction. And there we go. That is how to send Bitcoin using your SeedSigner. Just a quick recap of what we've actually done in this video. Firstly, we started with our SeedSigner, and what we did was create a key or a seed phrase. Next, we exported that wallet over to our Blue Wallet over here. So we loaded the public key onto Blue Wallet. Now Blue Wallet can see all our addresses and start receiving coins, which is exactly what we did. We received some sats into our Blue Wallet. Now that we had coins in Blue, we could start spending those coins. To do this, we had to build a transaction in Blue Wallet, but Blue Wallet doesn't have the right to spend these coins because it doesn't have our seed phrase. So what we did was we exported that transaction over to our SeedSigner over here, and we gave that transaction a valid signature with our SeedSigner. Then we exported that signed transaction back over to Blue Wallet, where we actually broadcasted that transaction to the network. And that is the end of this video. If you found this valuable and wish to support me, liking and subscribing is free, and you can also leave a tip. I will leave a link below. Cheers, everyone.